What's going on, guys? This is John Zakari, and today I want to talk to you about this year's Video Game Award show. Now, I am putting this together late after the show, so it's just going to touch on what I thought were the highlights. So, Jeff Keighley's annual award ceremony has had its ups and downs over the past couple years, being rebranded and restructured multiple times, as well as highlighted for the atrocity that was the VGX in 2013. First, I'm glad to see that games and game makers were the focus. You may think that's obvious, but that hasn't always been the case for this show in the past, and I was quite surprised in a good way by many of the winners. Sure, you can't put much stock into these types of things because comparing games is so subjective, but there was a substantial focus on games that weren't just stellar, but ones that pushed the boundaries in terms of creativity and originality. Nintendo kicked off the main show with a big win in Best Multiplayer Game for their new IP, Splatoon. I was really hoping for Splatoon or Rocket League to take home this award, as they were really the big innovative titles in this genre for this year, and I'm always looking for new IPs to get big support. Rocket League also went on to win other awards such as Best Indie Game and Best Sports/Racing Game. But sticking with Nintendo, while they also took home Best Family Game with Super Mario Maker, their highlight at the show had to be the wonderful tribute to the company's late president, Satoru Iwata. After a quick slideshow, the president of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, came out and gave a fantastic speech about how Iwata changed this industry, and how his focus was always about making games that put a smile on the player's face. Tear-jerking to say the least. But I gotta say, I was pretty surprised that Nintendo didn't bring anything new to the show. If you watched the Game Awards show last year, Nintendo pretty much stole the show with their big gameplay reveal of The Legend of Zelda on Wii U. And we haven't really seen anything new on the game since. With this being the biggest, broadest audience Nintendo will probably have until E3, this would have been a great opportunity to show the game again. I know they probably want to wait till the game is fully polished, but simply stringing together like a 10-minute compilation of the game including some exploration, combat, puzzle solving, and maybe even some story teases would have easily allowed them to steal the show again this year. So I just think this was a missed opportunity. The other big winners for the show were Witcher 3 and the big upsetter, Her Story. Witcher 3 took home Best Studio for developer CD Projekt Red, as well as Game of the Year, and Her Story beat out the likes of Tales from the Borderlands, Until Dawn, Life is Strange, and even The Witcher 3 for Best Narrative. Many of you may have never heard of this game since it's a PC-only title, but it did take a very unique approach to storytelling. You play as a police officer looking into a missing person case. Most of the story focuses on footage from interviews with the missing person's wife, who's played by Viva Seaford, who also won Best Performance for the role. It definitely puts you in the shoes of an investigator as you piece together info from these interviews and put the facts together. The game's on sale on Steam right now for like $3.50, so I definitely recommend checking it out. If there was a low point of the show, it was easily the story that's been blowing up the internet, and that's that Hideo Kojima was not allowed to attend the show as ordered by Konami, who he's still under contract with. All I can say is that this was bullshit, and props to Jeff Keighley for calling Konami out live on the show. Kojima and the Metal Gear Solid franchise have both been staples in gaming for years, with both being adored by millions of fans. Metal Gear Solid 5 was Kojima's send-off for the series, and it was a damn good one. Konami being too petty to allow this man to be honored for the commitment he's had to this industry is just despicable. Hopefully, with the company's future focus on pachinko machines, we won't be hearing from them much more. There were some pretty solid reveals at the show too. We got a look at Mortal Kombat X's next round of DLC, which adds even more horror icons to the roster. Never would have thought I'd see Leatherface running around a Mortal Kombat game, but I love it. We saw gameplay for Far Cry Primal, Rocket League is coming to Xbox One, Naughty Dog looks like they're going to once again redefine the visual standard for console gaming with Uncharted 4, all kinds of stuff. But for me, there were two major surprises that got me extremely hype. Yes, Telltale is tackling the Batman franchise. As a huge fan of the Batman comics, Yeah, I still go to my local comic shop just about every Wednesday. I'm dying to see what a story-driven Batman game will look like. In my opinion, Batman has remained so popular over the years, not just because of what a badass character he is, but because of his amazing supporting cast. From his many sidekicks to his deep rogues gallery of villains, there are so many characters that can bring something unique to the table with this type of game, and I can't wait to find out what Telltale has cooked up. I gotta say, of all the games I thought might be shown at this show, Psychonauts 2 has to be at the bottom of that list. If you don't know, Psychonauts is a third-person action platformer that takes place in people's minds. You navigate through these insane worlds that could only exist in a person's head and battle their inner demons. The game has built up a huge cult following in the over a decade since its release, and with the third-person platforming genre looking pretty sparse these days, I think this is a great time for this game to be made. Plus, the crowdfunding site being used, Fig, will allow backers to actually act as investors. Rather than just getting a t-shirt or a soundtrack CD, you can actually get a return on your investment. As the game makes money, you make money. So yeah, overall, I really liked the show. There wasn't much fluff, which allowed for lots of focus on celebrating the best in the industry, as well as what's coming in the future. And with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know what you thought of this year's Game Awards in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel now, and you can say you were a subscriber before it was cool. As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.